I think pandemic wrecked us.
Here's why I will never get married as a man.
There are going to be people online that say you didn't get married because he wanted you to sign a prenup.
Young people today are having less sex than ever before.
What if one of the biggest changes in modern dating has nothing to do with love, but with intimacy? Why are more adults reporting less sex than previous generations? Is dating becoming harder, or are people's priorities simply changing? Stay with us until the end because the final reason behind this trend might surprise you.
You actually found out with your research, young people today are having less sex than ever before.
That's right. It was very surprising for me to find that. At first, when I started hearing about this sex recession, I thought it was overblown. There was one study in particular that came out in 2016. It was based on data from the General Social Survey, and it was showing that across the board, Americans of all ages were having less sex than ever before, but particularly among millennials, and this trend was expected to continue on to Gen Z. So we're finding that across a number of different data sets that roughly 1 in 3 men and 1 in 5 women have not had sex in the last year, which is a large proportion of people. People are not even interested in dating anymore. There was one study from Pew that found over half of single people are not interested in dating at all right now. So this is a trend that's happening globally. It's happening in the West, it's happening in the East, it's happening among developed countries, and we're seeing...
For years, people assumed modern dating would become easier. Dating apps, social media, and endless choices were supposed to create more relationships. Instead, many people say they feel lonelier than ever.
I think pandemic wrecked us, and we did nothing to heal from the collective trauma of pandemic. And we are in this giant sex recession where people are not connecting, they're not communicating, they are in their little insular bubbles, surrounded by people who are saying all the same things that they are, and they're really struggling. And sex is supposed to be fun and joyful and pleasurable. And again, there's a lot of bad stuff out there. And so we have to find ways to bring the fun back, I think, because people deserve pleasure. You deserve pleasure, you deserve fun. But on the flip side, like, no one's ever died because they didn't have an orgasm, right? Like, this is the other challenge.
Well, you could argue that maybe they have died. We just can't attribute it exactly to the orgasm.
Not enough orgasm.
I mean, because there is a mortality benefit to more sex, right? So there's actually data that supports that people who have sex 52 times a year, like once a week, live longer than people who don't.
I think there's cardiovascular benefit. I think it's connection.
Yeah.
I think it's movement. I think being able to have sex, right? Sex is a high contact sport. And so, and what I find is there are no age limits to when people...
Researchers and surveys have found that some groups of adults report having less sex than previous generations. Experts point to a mix of economic pressure, technology, changing lifestyles, and relationship habits.
Here's why I will never get married as a man. Growing up, you're always taught that relationships eventually lead to a point of a union, of a marriage where you sign a government contract binding you two together. But the issue with marriages is the fact that nearly 50% of them end in divorce. Alongside with that, women and people really don't even know what a marriage means. Most women just want the validation of being called a wife, the ring, and of course, the wedding. In order to have a long-term relationship, you really don't have to get the government involved. You can do everything that a marriage actually entails without signing a government contract. That includes getting the ring, having a wedding, maybe even doing a honeymoon, changing her last name, having kids together, living together, and all do this while being married without being technically married through a contract. Now, if you are going to get married, at least to some degree protect yourself as a man. This includes getting a prenup before you decide to sign the papers. Otherwise, you're just going to end up being another statistic and then complaining about how all women are the same.
Many people are also delaying marriage and long-term relationships. When commitment happens later, intimacy patterns often change as well.
Answer me this, please. If you are going out, where do you go? Because the last couple of weekends that I've been out, like in town, everyone has been 12. I'm over-exaggerating. Why do I always say 12? Everyone was really young, like has just turned 18. They're all getting ID'd at the door, right? So you've got all of the really young people. And then you go to somewhere else, like Wetherspoons, and then you've got all of the really older people, like older people. Where do the middle people go? Where do the people between 30 and 45 go? Where do them people go? Because I don't know about it. Everywhere I went, it was like, I'm old enough to be your mum, or I'm old enough to be your child. Where do just all the middle people go? And that's not me being rude, but I'm just wondering, because I'm too old for clubbing, and I'm too young to be just sitting in Wetherspoons. So where do you go? I live in Maidstone, by the way, so if you're local to here, then where do all the middle people go? That's what I want to know. I just don't know if going out is for me anymore, unless there's an event. Like, I love a bingo bongo night. Love that. That's where the middle people go. But other than that, are we just all staying in? Are the middle people staying in? I don't know. Let me know. Have a nice night.
Dating apps have created more opportunities, but also more frustration. Ghosting, endless swiping, and unrealistic expectations leave many users feeling exhausted.
Is dating becoming outdated? I'm sure most of you have seen this new Bumble advertisement, and whew, the ones who have not, what a wild remark to put on the side of a highway. There was also this one. It's all just very dystopian society. We're clearly targeting women because of everything that women have been doing in the past couple of years. We've got the 4B movement happening currently. And before that, year 2023, what did we have? We had the Barbie movie. We had Beyonce going on tour. We had quite the year for women. Recently, I gathered a lot of statistics kind of proving this, the progression of women and decline of men. It's mostly talking about how women own a lot more homes than they ever have before, how women are actually making up like half of the workforce. We're really finally, for the first time in history, on the same exact playing field as men. And what are men doing? Men are simply not keeping up with us. We are much happier when we are literally talking to nobody. We are much happier when we're not on these dating apps and we're not centering our life around men. I see so many TikToks like this of girls being like, oh, how it feels not having a single crush. And honestly, I've seen men also post TikToks like this as well. And what does that tell us? It tells us that dating is not working in our society anymore. And dating apps are really only pushing us further away from dating one another and having any type of romantic interest, any hope for marriage in our futures at all. I know it may sound cynical, but it definitely is something to think about. With the 4B movement and women decentering men and women kind of growing to detest men, we also have the flip side of that, of men not really keeping up with us in the dating pool and men hating women as well. Men going on their little podcasts with their microphones and talking about how much they hate us. We literally hate each other. And for the first time ever, we can just hate each other and choose to not be with one another. And what dating apps and the internet have done to our generation, specifically Gen Z and younger, is it's completely numbed our brains. The options are limitless. And for all of the older generations, that was like not so much the case. And the more used to the internet and dating apps we get, and to just swiping and scrolling and seeing a new face every 3 seconds. And we have been doing that because we've had the internet and social media. We've been doing this since we were like 11 years old. We are so numb. So yeah, in conclusion, I personally believe dating is becoming outdated because of the progression and decline of men in society, the hatred we have for one another, and the desensitization and numbness that the internet and dating apps have caused for us. And that has resulted in the lack of intimacy within one another. So I don't know what the solution is, but these are my thoughts.
Social media has changed how people compare themselves to others. Perfect-looking couples online can make real relationships seem less exciting.
There are going to be people online that say you didn't get married because he wanted you to sign a prenup.
Correct.
So why did you not just sign the prenup?
In that moment, it was, I'd rather walk away from something knowing that I chose myself than to spend the rest of my life not being loved the way that I love somebody.
Translation, I want to take his money and virtue signal while I do it.
Somebody.
Yep.
Here's the problem with modern marriage from a man's perspective. Most of the marriages I know, okay, the man provides financially, he protects, taking care of kids, doing the things that he can do. What does the woman bring? She brings love, affection, a little bit of sweetness at the end of the day, you know, sex. If you get divorced, every single thing on that side of the man equation, he can be compelled to do by the power of the state, and if he fails to do it, they can put him in jail. Nothing on that other side, the female side, is enforceable at law.
Work and financial stress are another major factor. When people are overwhelmed, dating and intimacy often become less of a priority.
So there's actually a women's loneliness epidemic too. It's just that we will manage our feelings of longing and hunger, and you guys won't. Do you think we like this? Do you think that all the single women in the world like the fact that we cannot find decent human men to spend our time with? Do you think we like that? Do you think we like going years without physical contact with the gender we're sexually attracted to? Do you think we like that? The thing that kills me the most is how many fucking phenomenal single women I know, absolutely wonderful, beautiful, successful human beings I know who happen to be women. I don't know any single men. I don't know any. None. That's fucked up. That's super fucked up. If there are this many of us, there should be this many of them, right? I wonder what they're doing. I wonder where they are. I wonder what they're up to right now. Oh, that's right. They're in my comment section telling me how I'm gonna die alone with my cats. Like, that doesn't sound like fun. We're lonely too, bitch. We are lonely too. We're just better at it. We are so much better at handling our feelings of unrequited desire and longing than men choose to be. And yes, it's a choice. You can choose to be happily single. You can choose to find more community around you. You can choose productive ways to spend your time. Or you can sit at home and yell at women you don't know in their comment sections. Up to you.
More people are also choosing to focus on personal goals. Careers, travel, education, and independence now come before relationships for many adults.
Does that make sense for you as far as why divorce is inherently more risky for men?
I just feel like you're saying because women tend to be the person who initiates a divorce, correct?
Yes.
That's why it's riskier for men. But why do women tend to end divorces? With successful men that have money, they cheat.
She said it earlier.
They do all these things that women don't want to put up with.
She said it earlier. It's
so
a feeling.
why?
Feelings change from day to day.
Yeah. So I could have been in love with the person at the moment, but if that person is no longer treating me well just because we're married, I have to say no.
That's the point.
Because he can't be a good husband.
So as a man,
that's all I'm asking.
If I marry you and you decide, you know what, he's not the guy I thought he was anymore, I'm leaving. You take half my stuff, and maybe.
So is there no risk without reward?
So what's
you married me, right?
No. So once again, this is why
you wanted to marry me.
Don't want to get married.
You loved me enough that it would be worth it to you to marry me and take the risk.
Hold on, stop the show. You just basically admitted it with your own words. Why guys don't get married?
That doesn't necessarily mean people have given up on love. Many simply want healthier relationships instead of rushing into the wrong one.
The sexless marriage epidemic is a fucking at an all-time high. I posted a sexless marriage video and got DMs from not only people on TikTok, but people I know. And let me tell you something. If you're stuck in a marriage that you're not having sex for a month, 2-3 months at a time, even years, which I've gotten, you need to reevaluate what's going on here. You're living like a roommate. Your happiness has to be at an all-time low. There's no fucking way in hell I could be in a marriage that I say I love this person and I'm not, intimate with this person. I can't understand it because it's not my reality. But if it was my reality, I'd be sitting in a fucking room with my wife and we'd be having a deep conversation about this. What's going on and how we could fix it. Comment below if you're in a relationship that you don't understand this, or if you are in a relationship that is like this and you're trying to figure out how to bring it up. I couldn't believe the DMs, and I still can't believe the conversations I'm having with some people. Thanks for watching, and leave it in the comments.
So, is there really a sexless pandemic, or is society redefining relationships altogether? The answer may be more complicated than most headlines suggest.
Name one benefit that a man gets from a marriage that he wouldn't get in a regular relationship.
Just one.
I think a lot of men who choose to get married are incentivized by the fact that they are able to claim that woman as theirs. And
But name one benefit that they would get in a marriage that they wouldn't get in a regular relationship.
Well, I think even though it's not 100%, there's peace of mind that that woman is going to be loyal to you.
The answer is there's none. You're dancing around it. There is none. So my thing is this. I think it's in a man's best interest to stay Peter Pan, as you would say. And I think women shame men because men gain their value in their 40s. Men understand the sexual marketplace better. They understand that women have no leverage in their 40s. And they date down and they get younger, more attractive girls. And that's the best way to go in today's day and age, where we live in a deregulated sexual marketplace where women could take everything they got, take their kids, etc. Why the hell would a guy want to commit to women nowadays when, honestly, we got wholeflation?
I think it's also setting a good example to children that you have a family nucleus. And I think there's something to be said about that.
Well, you can do that without the state getting involved in getting married.
What do you think? Is modern dating making people less connected, or are expectations simply changing? Share your opinion in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more discussions like this.
Men stopped playing by the rules, and now everyone's freaking out. Let's break down why silence has become the loudest move.